I started researching how to stay young, so for this video, I'm gonna unpack what I've found, and then for the next 30 days, I'm going to be living by a world-renowned anti-aging expert's lifestyle recommendations. I'm going to document this and share with you what happens. I wanna condense down what the doctor recommends that we do in order to anti-age, and then I'll just share my game plan, everything that I'm gonna do. And also, how much it costs. So by the end of this experiment, I'll actually be younger than when I started. So that's sort of the setup, but before we get into the meat of the content, we do have a few questions that we need to answer. So who is this world-renowned expert on aging? Allow me to introduce you to Dr. David Sinclair. Dr. Sinclair is a biologist and a genetics professor and researcher at Harvard Medical School. Dr. Sinclair has been researching and working on the science of aging and lifespan extension for the past 25 years and has been published in a ton of publications, his own books, and in other places like the New York Times and the Washington Post. To be honest, after watching a ton of his interviews, I've come to the conclusion that the science of epigenetics and biology and cofactors and methylation and chromosomal anti-aging buzzwords is actually all pretty easy to comprehend. Okay, so that's who the doctor is. Let's get into what he talks about. I'm not intending to be an anti-aging or biology expert. I fully understand that I might get some things wrong, but I wanted to provide a little bit of background. So Dr. Sinclair and his team came up with the information theory of aging. And basically what that means is...
And eventually cells lose their identity, disease ensues, cells check out, they become zombie-like, and then our organs fail.
You age because your cells lose key information about who they are and what they're supposed to do over time. And when they lose that key information, the cells can no longer function as they're intended to, which means your organs don't function as intended, which means you die. Let's just take a couple of steps to wade into the shallow end. You and I, we have bodies. Our body is one unit made up of a bunch of organs, and those organs work together to keep the body alive. You know organs, hearts, livers, brains, kidneys. Now all of those organs are made up of cells, and cells are controlled by your DNA, your genetics, genes.
Cool genes, bro. Where'd you get those?
Your parents give you your genes. You got mom genes and you got dad genes. Your genes tell your cells what their job is because of your epigenome. Now, your epigenome, you can think of that as like a barcode or packaging that basically provides an identity to each one of your individual cells. All right, you there, you're a heart cell. Yay! And you're a liver cell. Yes! Oh, yeah, liver. And you're a butt cell. Oh, what? I gotta be a butt cell? So then that leads to the question, why do our cells lose that information? And the number one reason why your cells lose so much information is because you have forgotten to smash the like button. So with just one click of the thumbs up button, you can keep yourself from aging too. Actually, there are essentially 9 reasons that your cells lose information. Our telomeres shorten, we have gene expression errors, we get DNA damage, we have an imbalance in our metabolism. Also, our cells just get exhausted. All of those things combined lead to our cells losing information over time. So then what do we do to keep those 9 things from either happening or from happening in such a way that destroys us? Dr. Sinclair has found a number of things that we can do to enhance our cells' individual ability to maintain information. And he basically boils it down to 2 main things. We need to stress our system, and we also need to supplement our system when we stress it so that the benefits of stressing it actually get amplified. So in just a second, I will jump into those exact ways in which we can stress the system most effectively. But first, I want to talk about why stressing the system is so important.
These are largely involved in responding to when organisms are under threat of survival.
When we provide the right type of stress to our bodies, it basically sends our cells into survival mode. And the sense of being threatened, the chemical response that the body produces is actually really good for cellular health and longevity. So the theory is if we stress it on a regular basis in the right way, we can keep our cells consistently producing the chemical reactions that will help us anti-age.
So how do you make the body feel like it's under threat? Adversity, to fear adversity and the future, but not enough to cause lasting damage.
Dr. Sinclair provides essentially 3 recommendations. Number 1, get out of breath. Basically run. Make your cells feel like, oh, we're under threat, we're sprinting away, we need to start producing those chemical reactions and enough energy to get us out of this situation. The second way to stress the system effectively is to either get really hot or really cold, preferably really cold. And the best way to do that is to take cold showers. And then the third thing, but actually probably the most important thing, is to allow yourself to go a little bit hungry by skipping a meal or two either once a day or a few times a week.
My colleagues discovered is that it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat that's important.
And this is not at all under eating or an unhealthy approach to dieting. This is just allowing your body to feel like it is hungry. These stressors you can actually do for free. So because of all of that, for the next 30 days, I'm going to live by the code of Dr. Sinclair. So here's the plan. At least 3 times a week starting out, I'm going to get myself out of breath. I already exercise multiple times a week, and I actually run already. I'm just going to increase the amount. So I'm also going to do intermittent fasting 3 times a week. I'll probably skip either breakfast or lunch, and then I'll eat my normal meal at dinner time. And again, the purpose of that is to make yourself feel hungry, because that little stressor threatens the survival of your cells. And here's maybe the part that I'm dreading the most. At least 3 times a week, I'm going to take cold showers. So that covers the 3 stressors that Dr. Sinclair recommends for your body. Now, in addition to creating those stressors, I'm also going to take some supplements that are recommended. Why should I take supplements? Supplements are just designed to help boost the overall impact and effectiveness of the threats that you put your body under. I'm going to take NAD supplements from a company called Thorne. I'm getting 60 capsules. Each capsule is 400 milligrams of NAD, and I will take 1 of those per day. And really quick definition snap. There we go. NAD is a molecule that supports healthy cellular functions, like keeping our DNA healthy and converting food into usable energy. I am also getting some resveratrol supplement, and I'll take 1 of those a day as well. Resveratrol is a naturally occurring substance that you find in lots of plant life. And the big thing that it does is activates sirtuin proteins, which is a super important class of protein enzymes that kind of acts as a switch to turn on cellular ability to do a handful of really positive things associated with aging. I also want to add that I currently do not take any supplements at all, and I take a pea protein powder. Pea, not you. So then the question is, how do we test all of this? Now, the best way that I found to test this is actually by taking a blood test that can actually determine the age of your cells, not based on how many years you've been alive, but based on their age. So how well they've been aging over time, which can also apparently give you a pretty close approximate guess as to when your cells will give out, which means when you give out. Problem is that costs about $500 per test and about 6 weeks per test to get your results. So $1,000 in 12 weeks, I ain't got time for that. Actually, I guess technically I do have time for that now, because I am extending my lifespan quite significantly. But because I'll live longer, I'll need my money to stretch further, and so we're just going to test this thing off of anecdotes and feelings. I guess I'm just looking to see if I have more energy over the course of the day. Also, just as I've been getting older, I've started to notice some pretty consistent aches and pains. For example, my guess is if my body is repairing itself, will I feel less sore after workouts and runs? Because these issues do tend to get a little more inflamed after my workouts. Okay, so we're coming to the end here. How much does all of this cost? So I'm editing and I messed up on how much I was actually buying. I'm getting a 60-day supply of resveratrol, which is $48. A 60-day supply of NAD is $60. So that's 60 and 48, which is $108 for a 2-month supply. So $54 a month for the year. That's $648 for only 2 of the 3 supplements that he actually talks a lot about. And if I'm gonna live for the next 100 years, that's $64,800. All right, it's time to get started. I'm gonna implement these things for the next 30 days. And like I said before, I would love to hear any anecdotes or stories or feedback for doing this. Leave comments down below. Leave comments down below. And I guess I'll probably see you in the next one for the next 1,000 years. So